Okay, what's up, family? Family, family, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Black Jewel Tarot. We're going to get it in with the Tower card. The Tower card. When shit hit the fan.
hmm When everything comes down. Before we get into that, I want to make sure to remind you all to book your appointment with Reverend Tiny for Recovery Life Coaching. Our link and information is in the bio. You have your email that you can send your message along, and then you also have a link to Calendly. Go ahead and send your information, ask questions, etc., etc.
Yeah, engage, engage. Let me know how y'all feeling out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to do some videos on that. Let's just check in with your girl. All right, so welcome. The tarot card, the
Well,
Tower. Number
yep.
16, numerology in 16 is trust, trusting your intuition and your universal path. And the tarot, I want to say building, but I had like a column. I don't know. I was just envisioning a column or a tower. But it's lightning is hitting it. This one doesn't have a crown. This is the African tarot deck. There's the shadow, the body falling, hitting the floor, the ground. There's two. And on another deck, it's a little bit different where you can see one with the cape. This has a red cape. The other card has a blue cape. But the cape represents like safety net. It's a free flowing. But yeah, so when the tower hits, you blowing the smoke out the air. You don't have no choice but to acknowledge what happens, right? It's sudden. It's like a death. It's like a tragic car accident. It's something that just blows your mind, like you can't believe, what happens. Um, there was a point that I was going to make that had nothing to do with this tarot card. Sorry for being in my mind for a minute. That's a Gemini. Um, it's just a Gemini. I can't help it. So tarot brings about Mars energy in the Scorpio, and Scorpios do sting. So that fall is gonna hurt. You're gonna cry. You're going to cry, and we just have to acknowledge it. And that's what I would really say. It's just that letting it go. Just being with and accepting it. When it's in reverse, it's in delays and catastrophic fear and pain in the body and avoiding change and resisting. And that's why I said let it go. Because the more that we try to hold on, like staying in a bad relationship, knowing that it's bad, it's going to be worse in the end. So just letting the tower just flow and being prepared. This cape is a preparedness. You got to like a chute when that lightning hits. I feel like my sugar low. I need something to eat. I'm like, I done went blank twice. We're gonna make this real quick. So number 16 is about intuition, following the spiritual path, knowledge, wisdom, also encompass that. And then you break it down. 16 is a seven, which people do say is a spiritual number, religious connotations there. But yeah, that's pretty much the tower in a nutshell. Just prepare yourself, then don't be resistant to change, allowing that inner knowing. And I think that's really been a theme as we've discussed these last two cards from the death, the temperance and the devil, is that inner knowing when that tower moment hits, just allowing, and having the wisdom and discernment in those moments are most important. We've been talking about how things have hit me and the 50 years of hip hop and the crack epidemic and the trauma left behind. the pain. And in that tower moment, and for me, one of them was one where I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't live the life that I was living. People were getting bopped that I knew, clicks was getting raided. It became a point where this ain't for me. Like, no, this ain't for me. And there's been other tower moments in my life, losing loved ones, bankruptcy, tower moments, right? Things that hurt, that are really painful, but allowing that pain and transitioning that pain to power and walking into my strength where I am my own divine being and walking within that. So my tower moments are less, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. Um, and that's what I'm gonna just leave it as. I'm good, you know.
Well, may I ask a question?
I guess you can.
I mean, I'm just saying. We just left the devil, right? And from the devil, we had temperance, right? Where are we now? Where are we now in this journey?
At the tower. Or where we gonna go next? The star. I mean, so the
Where
star.
have we come from? So the devil into the tower right now. What does this transition mean coming out of the devil?
Oh, thank you. That's a good point. See, I do need to eat. When we're talking about the devil, we're talking about addictions, ego, self-interest, and that's letting it go. So the tower is actually walking through that heartfelt pain, right? Just letting it go, like it's done, it's over with. The tower, it's fell. I've hit rock bottom, but you get up.
Yeah. And does every tower have to be about suffering?
Without suffering, there is no growth. So I wouldn't say that every tower is about suffering. It's about evolving. It's just like that's why we have winter to spring. It might not be severe. 1932 was the coldest year in Illinois, right?
Mm,
But 1992 it was cool. So
yeah.
it's still is all growth is painful at some point. It's just how you look at it. It's
Oh,
your
that's fair.
perspective.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking about my Scorpio placements, and when transformation happens, it's usually a really nice time for reflection for me.
Hmm.
So I'm less thinking of it as something that's painful, more so thinking of it as necessary stages of growth. Some things must come to an end
Right.
in order to re-begin, as we talked about, as you mentioned, to move into the star. So I've learned to look at the redirection, look at the endings as opportunities for beginning. So when the fall comes, I know that I'm preparing myself for winter. I'm preparing myself for death, and I'm preparing myself for towers to come down. Because when the towers come down, I know that there is going to be some rebuilding that happens. There's going to be some new constructions that I get an opportunity to step into in the spring, right? There's going to be some new fruits that bears on these trees. These branches are going to come back to life. Some things are going to pop out the soil, and some things are not going to pop out the soil. Which also has me thinking about Ogun, right? When we call upon this warrior spirit for change, for support, some things are going to be axed out, macheted out that you was not expecting. But you ask for spiritual growth, and sometimes spiritual growth requires some things to just be removed. And
Right.
so in those moments, yeah, that shit sometimes is painful when you're letting go of things you're not ready to let go of. just yet.
Persons, places, and things. I was not ready to let go of my two-seater. I was not ready to let go of this 6 foot person. I was not ready to let go of a couple of neighborhoods that I lived in, communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't ready to let go of the old me.
Mm.
But when spirit says no, you gotta let it go. You have to. You really don't have no choice in the matter because you're gonna get set down. And I got set down a couple of times. I ain't even embarrassed no more. Somebody say woo woo woo. I'm like, yep, man. And here I am today. Look at me. I got my own thing going on. So that's the best part is the bounce back.
Yes.
Or that clap back. I don't
Yes.
care what anybody say about me. You said, oh yeah, I did it twice and 3 times on Sunday. And I
That
was wrong. But look at me now.
look at me
So
now.
it's all about I did, and it's all about your perspective and how you bring it back, like bounce back. The towers, they fall. It
They do.
hurts.
Oof,
Growth hurts.
it
Pain
sure do.
hurts. But it has to go. And there's this wonderful line that I've loved and I use almost every day in my meditation. Dr. Rashawn, thank you. What
How
is
easy.
coming, come, and what is going, go. And it's
Mm,
as simple as that. What is coming, come, and what is going, go. And it's made it so much easier. It's made it palatable in my life to accept the changes. Because you're right, it doesn't have to be hard. I don't have to make it hard. I don't have to make it hard anymore. Me. And that's the difference.
mm. I was just looking at these. I guess I hadn't realized how maybe I would say how much change has happened from the number 12 card to the number 16 card.
Hmm.
We left justice and we've been on a roller coaster.
Mm.
Justice, the hangman, death, temperance, the devil, now the tower.
It's like one thing after another. Perspective shifting. Yeah.
And
And
I
that's
stopped
life.
there. Yeah, and I stopped there because the next couple more cards is like blossoms of joy,
Hmm.
which is so interesting. It just goes back to the point that you were making. The towers must happen. The growth must happen. And so allowing it to happen, sitting in the discomfort, you'll be surprised what comes on the next out on the next side or out on the next. Oh, how did that saying go? What comes out on the next end or something like that?
I heard it in my mind. I'm like, I don't know.
You'd be surprised when you sit through some stuff what comes out on the next end. And I think that's something that we're going to be talking about next episode. What's
Right.
going to come on the next end?
The star, the moon, and the sun. So we have some good things happening.
Yeah.
Um, we're going to be looking at things on the brighter side of life, so to say. Our intuition has been trusted upon our own selves. Our wisdom, our knowledge has grown. We've evolved into our inner knowing, and that we trust who we are, and then we trust the universal path for us. And so, be in alignment with our heart, mind, and body, that brings on a whole nother dimension within itself because you're in alignment and in tune with spirit. So that's a
Yeah.
part of shedding that death, the ego, the addictions with the devil and that tower is alignment. And so we'll talk about that in our next episode with the
Yeah.
star.
And so if you're currently going through some tower moments. You're dealing with your shadow self. You're dealing with some things, especially, and they coming back to back to back. I want to encourage you to reach out to Black Jewel and get your tarot reading done. It's going to be super helpful for you to just get some confirmations of the things that you already know, but you just kind of need to get told again. Um, reach out, reach out, reach out. All the information is going to be in the description. You know where to look. We are Black Jewel, and we are out.
Mm.